So you've got your great idea, you've got a model that you believe works and can actually drive some real change. You've got a financial forecast that looks fantastic and you think you can make some money on the back of this. Well, the only thing I can tell you is rip it all up, throw it on the floor or set fire to it, because nothing is going to go according to plan, because it sure as hell didn't for me. What I say now is triple the money, quadruple the time, and then wait for Mr. Left Field to come over and slap you around the face every kind of 5 minutes. Because that's what happens at Yume. Me and my team are constantly putting out fires, constantly trying to find ways through new challenges. And this is our timeline. So, came up with this idea of this app, great idea, thought it was fabulous. Back then, no one else was doing it. Now, I'm pleased to say there are a number of these apps where hospitality is selling product at the end of trading through to people at half price. Brilliant. I wish them all the success in the world, and I've mentored a couple of the founders of that. But I came up with this idea and I thought, fab, I'll go and get myself an app built. So got an angel investor, $250,000, fantastic. I thought, here we go. Gave my money to, I'd done my due diligence, an app company who took my $100,000, because 5 years ago that's kind of what it cost, and gave me back a whole load of broken code. It turned out I was a scalp, one of many. They went down in the end, in flames, in the press. It was them. So anyway, there I am thinking, this isn't going according to plan. What am I going to do now? Running out of money. I've got these staff I've got to pay. I had 2 staff at the time. So we started to think, where can we pivot to actually have greater impact, where we're not going to need a runway the size of, Australia to get it off the ground. And we came up with this idea of a platform in the B2B space. So we pulled up some spreadsheets, we put up a front so we looked like we were a marketplace. We're like, yeah, we got this. And we did 3 months of trading and we saw a little bit of growth. So we extrapolated all those figures, we built out a fantastic forecast, and off we went for a capital raise. And we sat in front of all of these huge foundations who we wanted to give us impact investment. And after 6 months, some of them did. $2.6 million. This is at the end of 2016. I'm like, I've done it. This is great. This is fantastic. Here comes the hockey stick. That's what comes next, right? Done all that hard stuff. I got ripped off. Done the pivot. That's kind of what I read about in the startup books. You do all those things, the trough of sorrow. I've been there. So I started bringing in some food industry experts. I thought, that's what we need, some food industry experts. Brought people on. We got ready. We thought, we'll just do what we did in the forecast. We'll do it across 12 people. We'll make 4 times the money. Off we go. And we're going to have all this impact. It's going to be great. It didn't work. It absolutely didn't work. The business went like this. But what's going on? It's not working. So it was regroup, get rid of half the team, come back to basics, get back to mission. What is it we're trying to achieve? So nothing goes according to plan. Why? The market might just not be ready for you. I had this idealistic view that I would go to these multinational manufacturers and they would welcome me with open arms and say, Katy, yes, we do a little bit of donation over here to Food Bank, but we do actually bury all this stuff that we don't tell anyone about. Let me open my kimono. Come on in. Let's do business together. They didn't do that at all. They just sort of said, nothing to see here. We don't have any food waste. We do that little bit of donations. Nothing to see here. There's no 90 tonnes sitting out the back, which we found out there was. That's not happening. And they kept saying this. So we got to this ceiling and we couldn't go any higher because we didn't have the credibility. Yes, I'd done Second Bite and I knew some of these guys, but this is now we're in a new space. We're in business now, right? We're going to take 90 tonne of maple syrup and sell it, but not tell anyone about the brand. How are we going to do that? There's only 8 of us. So the next learning is you can't do this alone. I went and found a partner that had the credibility, that I could brand surf, that I could leverage to help us get in front of these companies with real credibility. That partner was Suez, but we tried and tested quite a few of them. So I wanted to go for resource recovery because I figured these guys are the ones burying this stuff. They know where it's going. They know who's got what. Or it's being treated. So when we say waste comes in many forms. It's going to animal feed, it's being depacked and injected under the ground as liquid. There's a whole variety of things that go on in the food waste space. So it's not all necessarily going directly into landfill, it goes to waste to energy or whatever it might be. But it's certainly not at the top of the food waste hierarchy, which is where it should be. So we worked with Suez and all of a sudden, people wanted to talk to us. They were like, okay, well, you've got this French Goliath behind you. And they had landfill diversion managers on staff. So I thought, I think these guys are the real deal. And it turned out that they are. But the final thing that I wanted to share with you as to why we went through that real big hole, which was, yeah, nothing's going to go according to plan, and you can't do it alone, and the market might not be ready, was the people. Because you remember I said that I employed these industry experts, which made perfect sense to me, because that was a skill set we didn't have on team. We had a lot of this, a lot of passion, a lot of integrity, problem solvers, not afraid of the unknown. We didn't have the food industry bit, so I thought we'd get them in. It was a terrible idea. That was actually what stopped us in our tracks, because what we actually brought into this business of passionate startup nuts, really, because that's what we were, was all this old thinking. So we were having to explain to these food industry experts what they then had to go out and explain to their industry. But they didn't really get us either, because we're trying to disrupt that space and say, hey guys, we want to move out from all of these traders that are coming in and bottom feeding. We want you to let us in, stop burying this stuff, stop sending it to animal feed and bring it through to market. That's what we want you to do. So they're my big lessons, and it certainly hasn't been an easy ride. I am pleased to say that we now are on a growth trajectory. I hope we stay there, but I don't take anything for granted. I never know when one of those big troughs could come again and hit me, and I might be here next year going, so anyway, there was another big trough that came round and missed a left field, but anyway, hopefully not, but we'll see. But the thing is, it's about being open. And the reality is, if you surround yourself with people with the extraordinary passion of the Yume team, even when shit gets real, they actually dig deeper and you find solutions. And in all of that constraint and all of those challenges that we've faced, we've actually been incredibly innovative, and we have the most efficient platform in the world, which I'm very proud of. So the future is in our hands. I am not special. I really am not. I'm not a food industry expert. I do not have a PhD. I am not the typical profile of a startup founder. Yep, I think we agree with that. I don't have a beard, and I don't have funky hair like Finbar. But, at the end of the day, I have a passion. And I know that someone needs to make this difference. And I believe that everybody in this room, if you've got a burning desire to make a change, and you think you can team that up with a business model, and you've got real grit, you've got determination, bloody go for it, because the world needs more people that are willing to give it a go. Thanks for listening to me.